If the United States needs something as in right now, really urgent, yesterday, is to, well, reduce, turn down the heat of what is going on. Because it's like we're facing a full-on civil war that, well, is practically among us. And the thing is, the figures like Gavin Newsom are stirring the pot to levels that they're practically wishing for a tragedy to happen. A tragedy of what kind? Well, I'm going to play a couple of clips here in which he basically says, well, two clips. In one of them, he claims that he's sure that in 2028, there won't be any elections. And the other is that the United States is currently under the control of this, how do you call it, authoritarian government. So maybe you can do the math and what any deranged person out there can assume of what's going on. And we have this combined with an attack on an ICE facility on Texas that was left one dead. So we are going to see this. Last night, Gavin Newsom goes on a hyperbolic rant about Donald Trump and ICE kidnapping brown people off of the streets of America. Hours later, multiple people shot by sniper at an ICE facility in Dallas. So let's play so you can see it for yourself with Stephen Colbert, nonetheless.
The mass that's happening in the United States of America. Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process, no oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic. If you're a black and brown community, it's here in this country. And so...
Notice how he says black and brown communities. You're talking about ICE. ICE is dealing with illegal migrants. He's trying to make it seem like it is about race, black and brown communities. Notice the distinction. Notice the distinction here, and he wants that confusion to just spread like an infection on everybody's minds. That's what the left does.
I'm deeply proud that I had the privilege of signing the nation's first bill to address the issue of masking, also to require you have simple identification.
The masking is of ICE officers. This is what he had to say about that.
Have rights, and we have the right to stand up and push back. And
notice that he already said those words with Colbert. Push back. We have to push back. We have to push back here. We have to push back on this on this people.
That's what we're doing here today. This is a disgrace. This is an outrage, what we have allowed to happen in this country. And I could not be more proud of this legislature, the legislative authors, to the community demanding more from all of us at this moment to push back. I'll be signing a bill, first in the nation, saying enough. ICE, unmask. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
Well, I'm going to tell you what are they afraid of. They're afraid of this. Bullets marked with the words anti-ICE. You think that the message is clear enough for you? You think that this was what? Nick Fuentes Groiper or something? And yeah, sadly, this is something that happened in, I'm going to put the report here.
So apparently it occurred when detainees were being brought into the Sally Port. This shooter, we're not sure exactly where he was located, but was able to shoot into that Sally Port and struck at least 3 people. That shooter now is down from this self-inflicted wound. So we may not know exactly what his plan was, what they were.
Yeah, the shooter took his own life after shooting into the ICE agents.
Were intending to do other than to shoot people this morning at an ICE facility. We're learning more as we get it. And particularly, we're interested, obviously, in learning about the conditions of the 3 individuals that were struck this morning.
Yeah, this is horrific things happening. And again, you got Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, going on, Colbert, and stirring the pot, making this more about, the confrontation How can you get away with this and not know that what are the consequences that your words will have?
These are not just authoritarian tendencies. These are authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government. You saw what Stephen Miller said last week. This should put chills up fine. Called the Democratic Party an extremist organization, basically a terrorist organization.
Well, I see no lies detected when you know what they stand for and what are the policies that they are trying to push, they have been trying to push for years. You say that these people are insane, like literally insane, with all the brainwashing, with all the violence, with all the mostly peaceful riots. I can't go on and on, but you already know.
Saying he's going after his enemies. You saw the tweet that Donald Trump sent out, Truth Social, basically telling Pam Bondi, I want these 3 people taken out. That's happening in the United States. This can't be normalized. None of this can be normalized.
None of this can be normalized. And so that he says that we have to push back. And how do you think people that are insane, that should be in insane asylums, will react? Red Wave Press, Gavin Newsom, but also raising awareness around how Donald Trump is trying to rig. This is his words. Rig the midterm elections, and how I fear that we will not have an election in 2028. This is his word.
As a Democratic Party, we have a lot of work to do to make up for our failures in the past.
Well, would help if you addressed the monster that you created.
We got crushed in this last election. And now we're in a position where we are struggling to communicate. We're struggling to win back now the majority in the House of Representatives. And that's
the communication part is that, we want our own Joe Rogan. We want our own influencers. And again, this is what I told you on Body Language Guy channel when I made the analysis of Jimmy Kimmel's apology. It was full of manipulation. They should be allowed to say the things they want to say, so everybody can realize it's full of nonsense. I am going to put all my channels to just expose their nonsense and contradictions so more and more people can vote, but with an informed decision. That's what we are looking for. People voting with an informed decision.
That's a big part of what I'm doing, not just today in terms of the work out here, raising money, but also raising awareness around how Donald Trump is trying to rig the midterm elections and how I fear that we will not have an election in 2028. I really mean that.
I really mean that. He emphasizes those words. I really mean that. He uses illustrator gestures. He emphasizes with his voice, with his face, everything.
And the core of my soul, unless we wake up to the code red, what's happening in this country, and we wake up soberly to how serious this moment is.
You tell me if that is not, waiting or advocating for something to happen. And yes, as Adam Northenschool says, this is one of the most irresponsible lies I have ever seen. The elected leader of the richest state in the union is saying that there won't be elections in 3 years unless we wake up to the code red situation. If that is not a call to extreme action, then what is? That is what is dangerous. And this is being televised to so many people, the ranch people who, then we have to, take this matter into our own hands. And you see the byproduct of that, the extremism, the radicalization, the violence. That is what is going on. And they were the ones under Biden letting all those illegal migrants, be able to rig the elections. There's already proof of that everywhere. And I don't know how many people are not making more noise about that. We tried to warn about this before, November. It's a great thing that Trump is the president now. But what happens when basically all these high-profile political figures are basically pushing for a full-on civil war? because it would be citizens against citizens, and that would be horrific. It's already happening. It's already happening. And they have this very cute words. Oh no, you know what is the problem? The problem is a gun problem. No, I'm gonna repeat that again. I said that on my live stream of Charlie Kirk's memorial. America doesn't have a gun problem. America has a mental illness problem. And who have been the ones pushing mental illness for so long? Who have used their policies to brainwash kids into being confused about their gender, about the family, about their values, about everything? Who are the ones who have been pushing all this disgusting ideas onto kids and teenagers and adults? It's something that is baffling. How that brainwash, but it's not baffling in fact, because they have used the power of all this legacy mainstream media that is a good thing that people pay less and less attention to that. And well, we are the media now, and that's why we are doing this efforts to wake people up, to actually wake people up. Let's ask the question. Let's show the receipts. Let's go for the statistics, and let's see if some people, the people that can wake up, actually wake up. And that's the best that we can do. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss.